What the business, YouTube? So bright and early you can hear the birds chirping. Episode 34. My name's Jay Florida, and today's career of discussion is an author. So what is an author? An author is the writer of a literary work, such as a book. Now, to give you a piece of history, authors have been around for over 4,300 years, with the earliest known named author in history being Enheduanna, a Sumerian high priestess who lived in Mesopotamia around the 24th century BC. She's recognized for signing her name to written works, specifically 42 temple hymns. A few basic requirements to becoming an author include, if you want to go traditional, a pen and paper. If you want to go modern, a laptop or a tablet. Assuming that you already have these, it shouldn't cost you anything, and you can literally start right now, whether it be a movie script, a book, or a poem. As far as your range as an entry-level author, you can expect to make less than $5,000, with a few things affecting how much you take home being genre, reputation, traditional versus self-publishing, and of course, sales. A day in life as an author can be described as storyboarding, revising and editing, isolating, and potential financial instability. As far as opportunity, as mentioned, all you really need realistically to kick off your authoring career is a pen and paper. Investments are minimal, and for that reason, opportunity for the author does score green. A few examples to take note of in this field include Dr. Seuss, an American author who wrote and illustrated more than 60 children's books, known for their whimsical rhymes and quirky characters like the Lorax and the Cat in the Hat. Next, we have Remy Cruz, who as of recording holds New York Times best-selling cookbook, Let's Get Cooking. And last but not least, we have Suzanne Collins, who's best known for her best-selling Hunger Games trilogy. The dystopian series, published between 2008 and 2010, follows Katniss Everdeen as she completes a brutal survival competition orchestrated by the government. Moving on to our fact moment segment of this episode, starting off with fact number 1. J.K. Rowling used the pseudonym Robert Galbraith to publish crime fiction to escape the immense hype, expectations, and media scrutiny surrounding her fame. She desired to have her work judged on its own merits rather than her name. Fact number 2. Per year, there are roughly 5,700 to over 6,500 total slots available for New York Times best-selling author, with around 10 to 15 titles per category. And fact number 3. The best-selling non-religious book is A Tale of Two Cities, written by Charles Dickens, which has sold over 200 million copies. For our last segment, before we move on to the circle of influence, we have health risks and mitigation, starting off with prolonged sitting, which can cause musculoskeletal disorders such as tight hamstrings, hip flexor pain, and chronic lower back or neck pain. Headaches, dry eyes, and reduced melatonin production as a result of constant screen time, and long-term health complications as a result of a sedentary lifestyle. As far as mitigation, you can use blue light blocking such as Gunnar digital eyewear as suggested by some professionals. Seek writing communities to counteract the isolation of the industry. Adjust screen height and use standing desks to reduce back and neck pain. Use dictation software to reduce hand and wrist strain, and set timers to walk, stretch hip flexors, and do light exercises. Now that does it for our primary segment. I'm gonna go ahead and give the floor to my co-host. Let him take over for the circle of influence. What the business, YouTube? How we hanging? All right, now starting off the circle of influence, we have respect. Is this a career or position that brings me respect and dignity? Now, I believe what takes the cake for this segment is, as an author, you're documenting information to either be studied or passed down, or you're creating literary works that can be emotional, entertaining, relatable, or even beyond that. And for that reason, the author does score green. Moving on, we have growth. Is this a career or a position that presents me with the opportunity to grow from a $100,000 earning threshold? For this segment, the author does score green, with sources online citing that the author has the potential to make anywhere from $500,000 going well into the millions in a single year. Next, we have gore. Is this a career or position that will have me dealing with an abundance of blood, violent action, grotesque imagery, or scenery? For this segment, the author does score green, as in no, you will not be dealing with any of the mentioned before. And for our last ideological standpoint, we have moral conflict. Is this a career or position that will have me compromise any of my foreseeable morals? Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, don't kill. The basic set of guidelines. And for this segment, the author does score green. Moving on to the statistical side of things, we have gender demographics, where men make up 43% of the industry and women make up 57% of the total industry. Next, we have ethnic demographics, where Caucasians make up 76% of the industry, Hispanics make up 8% of the industry, and African Americans make up 6% of the total industry. And for our last segment, we have location demographics, which, as an author, there's no one particular state that pays you more than the other. It's more so based off of sales and reputation. And with that being said, we actually have the top paying genres, starting off with romance, followed by mystery and thriller, fantasy. We also have science fiction and poetry. Now that does it for the circle of influence. So I'm gonna go ahead, give the floor back to Florida. Thanks for the motorcade. I'm back. Just to summarize the author, I believe there is a lot of diversity that you have in this field. If your pen is really like that, and you're writing something noticeably noteworthy or worthwhile, and you're able to break through the smoke, generational wealth. As far as basic requirements, investments are minimum, which is a double-edged sword. Because they're so minimal, anybody can become an author. However, it does make it that much harder to break through the smoke. Realistically, you can achieve New York Times bestseller with your first book on its first couple months out. Or you can, spend 10 years waiting for your book to get noticed before it finally does. After all, Faster Than the Speed of Love sold 0 copies. It went 0 times iron. With that being said, it does look like we have a full episode today. The word of the day is resent. Self-help resources on the board. As always, I'll leave it down in the description. And to show your support, if you want to see this kind of content more often, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on episode 35.